that.
What's the next one?
25.
Look at that. All right, call order tech committee. Updates from technology director.
All right, good evening, everybody. I just have 3 big updates for you. The first one is, as you guys alluded to a little bit earlier, about the equipment replacement was a network project. Very pleased with how that came together. If you recall, we at the board meeting proposed not to exceed $90,000. So we actually came under budget on that. We were actually just shy of $11,000 under budget for that project. So just wanted to let you know about that. Biggest hiccup was the equipment didn't arrive. We were hoping for it to be here by the 23rd. Didn't get here till the day after Christmas. So everything went very well. Updates, things were working very well. Took the old SAN and have it over at Woodfield. So we're running backups of all of our servers in case we have any kind of downtime of any servers crash here. We have the ability to get back up and running off of what we have at Whitfield. And so it has the capability of doing 2 backups of each server. So we run it every night and it'll keep 2 iterations before it writes over another server. So I was just pleased with how well that went. Guys were here helping and things went very smoothly. The other update I wanted to let you guys know about, Parkland Business System came in, spoke with us in October and November. Just want to let you know, obviously we didn't go with the big proposal that I shared with you guys that they presented. There was bits and pieces from a tech perspective that sound interesting or seem pretty interesting as far as the network monitoring and just kind of being more proactive. So I wanted to let you know that we're not continuing with the big proposal that they presented to us. And then the third item is the iPads. We received the iPads. We gave all the pilot teachers the iPads right before Christmas break so that they have a chance to get acclimated and start playing and downloading apps that are relevant to their curriculum and needs in their classrooms, so they've had a chance to do that. Throughout that process, Sarah Shepke has been meeting with them in small groups in the buildings and just kind of talking logistics, and then also just kind of how, what are some of the apps that are relevant to you, what are some things that you're thinking about. So she's been meeting with them on as much as she can in the buildings. There will be also a meeting tomorrow just to kind of convene. I believe you're involved in that as well. Okay. And there's a process that they'll be going through. The big part is app approval. If there are apps that teachers deem that are necessary or if they think would be very useful, Sarah Shepke and Kathy will be working on creating a form, kind of that, okay, this is a good app, how does it tie to curriculum? And once they look at it and approve, then it'll come to tech to go ahead and promote it and deploy those apps. So
The important thing on that's going to be is keep some kind of dialogue and records for the review process on the app utilization. Just because it was school, so we bought it, nobody used it, we need to know that.
Absolutely. And the free monitoring program we're using lets us see what apps are on the machines. One where they last access, actually we can see that. I mean, it's not going to give you exact time, but at least last used, the other day, those kinds of things. So I'm happy about that part as well.
Okay.
Along with the utilization is the effectiveness. You see some advances of students because of it. And I would hope that in the next month or 2, you might show us some of the apps in action.
Absolutely.
That's a couple things that we're going to finalize. The student surveys about, as we had talked about in the proposal, student surveys, teacher surveys, and some parent surveys. So we have a letter that will be going home to the parents in those classrooms so they know what's going on also. And then we'll be keeping track of the apps, like you said, and have a database of that. So if we need to re-image or do some different things, we'll have that information, and then to look at the progress over time.
Yeah. And instead of just an app selection, I'd rather see some video of the students utilizing the apps.
Oh, and that's something that Sarah Shepke will be putting together, just a short little blurb to show you at the committee meetings like this, and just a little bit of what the students are doing. So really cool to see.
That's it for my 3 updates. Do you have any questions? Yes.
Back to Hartman, I'm sure you thank them for their service to it. Do you know if they contacted the high school?
I know that he had reached out to the high school. Whether he had a reciprocating response, I do not know.
Anybody else, anything for Ken? One question I have, so you've got the SAN over there, you're making backups of the servers. Are you making redundant backups of data?
It's taking the whole snapshot, so it's taking everything. What we don't have in that scenario, Dan, is obviously, if it backed it up last night at 5, any data, obviously, after 5 o'clock that was changed, that's where we're missing, if you will.
Yeah.
But it's taking everything with it, including the OS and the data.
Okay, cool. Wow. Great.
And it's an open source, which is even great, even better, so no cost there.
You couldn't have done it more.
Well, thank you very much for watching the numbers on that one.